Hello there. Keir Starmer is failing again as his Labour Party draws the ire of Donald Trump as he accuses Labour of interfering in the upcoming US presidential election. Things are hotting up for Labour, and it threatens to damage anything that's left of the UK-US special relationship should Donald Trump win in November. The former, and some say probable, next US President Donald Trump has referred to the UK Labour Party sending about 100 of its activists over to the US to actively campaign for his opponent Kamala Harris as blatant foreign interference in the presidential election. As a result, Trump has levelled a formal legal complaint at Labour via the US Federal Election Commission, the FEC, accusing it of illegal foreign campaign contributions and interference in our elections. And Trump's campaign manager, Susie Wiles, said, "In 2 weeks, Americans will once again reject the oppression of big government that we rejected in 1776. The flailing Harris-Waltz campaign is seeking foreign influence to boost its radical message because they know they can't win the American people." And she went on to say that Donald Trump will return strength to the White House and put America and our people first, while calling Kamala Harris's use of what she termed illegal foreign assistance as just another feeble attempt in a long line of anti-American election interference. But Keir Starmer has shrugged his shoulders and basically said, so what? While we hear that the left-wing rag, the socialist worker, wants to smash the fascists off our streets. Now, looking at that headline, it does look to me like they want things to get a bit tasty this Saturday, the 26th of October. Wonder how many of those will be the usual communist mask-wearing yobbos strutting about the place in their black uniforms, attempting to look tough while intimidating people. But it will be the job of the Met Police to keep the lid on those lefty hooligan troublemakers. The rest of us will sail on and ignore them by having a huge and very peaceful rally. So don't be put off by the woke lefty hate-filled garbage. Oh, and look at how they frame a jury declared innocent policeman. They call him a killer cop. That's just outrageous. The only thing they have going for them is they hate Starmer's government, probably even more than we do, because he's not hard left enough for them. My answer to them is this. Be there at Victoria Station at 11 a.m. on this coming Saturday. Anyway, I digress. Back to the US and back to Trump. But it's not just Trump having a go at a UK lefty organisation. The owner of Tesla and the ex-social media platform, Elon Musk, has also waded into the fray by declaring war on a group linked to the UK Labour Party, the Centre for Countering Digital Hate, or CCDH. Musk has accused the CCDH of violating the rules against foreign interference in elections by trying to bring his ex-platform down by attempting to lobby US Democratic Party senators. So he put out on his ex-platform, "This violates US criminal statutes against foreign interference in elections. We are going after CCDH and their donors." And their donors. I see. Making sure everyone gets the "and their donors" bit. Now, whatever the merits of any of the claims from either side, it does show a building acrimony between the current Keir Starmer-led Labour government and the probable next Trump-led US administration, together with the tech genius and super wealthy Elon Musk. And surely we do need to have good relationships with both of them. But what would Keir Starmer say at the next UK general election if Trump and Musk came down on the side of Nigel Farage's Reform UK and encouraged people to travel to the UK from the US to try and influence our elections? Would they dismiss it in the way Starmer has dismissed his own party sending activists to the US? Where Starmer's position is that his party's activists are voluntary and they are self-funding the trip. Further, he also said they always did this in every US election. But I'm sure that makes it all right then. And also for Russians to interfere in our elections too, one assumes. How about the North Koreans and the Iranian regime too? Well, that would be wrong, wouldn't it? Anyway, while doing his bit for the UK carbon footprint while on a flight to Samoa, Keir Starmer told the press that the Labour Party has volunteers. They have gone over pretty much every election. They're doing it in their spare time. They're doing it as volunteers. They're staying, I think, with other volunteers over there. That's what they've done in previous elections, that's what they're doing in this election, and that's really straightforward. And there seems to be an attempt to divorce Starmer from the actions of his Labour Party, with the PM also saying, "I spent time in New York with President Trump, had dinner with him, and my purpose in doing that was to make sure that between the two of us we established a good relationship, which we did. We're grateful to him for making the time for that dinner. We had a good constructive discussion. Of course, as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, I will work with whoever the American people return as their president in the elections, which are very close now." You'd think that the UK Prime Minister would have been well advised to call a halt to the activities of those Labour activists, given that Labour is the UK governing party and must be seen to not be favouring one side or the other in a foreign election. And especially not having what is essentially his team telling the world that they're going to show Kamala Harris's Democratic Party how to win an election. How very arrogant and condescending of them. Now, it would be interesting if Trump and Musk did manage to get a team over to the UK. But they could play it crafty by saying they were going to send people over to learn from Nigel Farage and Reform UK about how to win an election. They will be learning as they worked, so it's not election interference, or something like that. But I still think the woke lefties would boil over with rage. As ever, this sort of thing is only allowed for them, not their opposition. But we can, of course, trust the Labour Party. They can be trusted never to break the rules. Can't they? And in a completely unrelated issue, the Labour peer Lord Ali, he of outfitting some of the Labour front bench and other friends with new wardrobes and other stuff, has been found to have broken the House of Lords Code of Conduct. 4 times. But the House of Lords Commissioner for Standards calls them all minor infractions. Things like not registering interests or registering them late. And they are so minor that the punishment for doing so will be to write a letter of apology to the chair of the Conduct Committee, Baroness Manningham-Buller. Sounds a bit like writing lines for being late to school or not doing your homework, doesn't it? And in reply to this onerous letter-writing punishment, Lord Ali wrote in his letter, "I am writing to you today to offer my apology for my breach of conduct by not registering my interests correctly. I will endeavour to keep the code of conduct at all times to avoid such circumstances again." Wonder if he drafted that himself. But it's had the desired effect. All Lord Ali's registrations are now up to date.